Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Dr. Cooper. Guess what today is? Today is the dialogue, how he feels and how she feels. It's a conversation. Let's get into it. I have Dr. J. She's getting ready to come in. We're waiting on Pastor Greg. And we have our special guest. Yes, Lawrence D. Adams, who has his own platform. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about today. I don't want to belay the time. I'm going to start off with a little music intro. You guys know I love my music, so um, let's listen to a little song really quick. I've been listening to Lucky Day, and I kind of like the little young guy. You know, he's a new neo soul artist. My daughter turned me on to him. I know I got that reflection. My daughter turned me on to him, so I kind of like the guy. Let's see what he's talking about while I wait for all my other co-hosts to come in. Tell me if you guys can hear that. Yes, a little profanity, but don't be super safe. It's just music. Can you hear it? I typically don't start with music, but I'm waiting on a few guests. Y'all like that? Let me know if y'all like that. Show me some comments. Turn it up just a little bit, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. That's better. I know I love my music. I got one of my questions tonight. You like that, Kevin? I just like a good live band. What y'all think? We can ignore it. Who do you better way? Are we just over it? Make you on a step, huh? That's Lucky Day and Yaba. Lucky Day and Yaba. Yaba.
Okay. So.
All right. So today it's the dialogue, the conversation. I'm going to invite my guest up because I'm still waiting for Dr. J and Pastor Greg to get here. So I'm going to invite my guest up because he's ready. All righty, all right. Lawrence, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear Lawrence? All right, all right, all right. Well, now, Mr. Lawrence, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you have a platform. Can you tell us about your platform?
Sure. My name is Lawrence D. Adams, and I have a platform called Recharging Manhood. And it deals with men getting back into their masculinity so that they can embrace a woman in her true femininity. Let me say that again. It's about a man embracing their masculinity so they can have a woman who embraces her true femininity. So we deal with a lot of things. Like this week, we deal with No More Mama's Little Boy, dealing with the whole aspect. Then last week we deal with boundaries, how important it is for men to set boundaries. Boundaries meaning standards and how they do things. So that's what we're about, building men from the inside out. So that's the difference, from the inside out. So we're going to talk about some things I know today that will be helpful for those in that particular arena.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. You know, I was on a guest on your platform. I get so tongue tied sometimes. Please forgive me because my brain moves faster than my tongue. But I was excited to be a guest on your platform earlier in the month of or later in the month of February. Was it February?
Mm-hmm.
That was exciting. And so yeah, I want to ask you a question while I wait for the other guest, my other co-host to come on. Can you tell me a little bit about the game? What's the game, Lawrence?
Okay, so let me adjust some things because everyone has their own definition of what the game is. So we hear a lot from the women folks that say, "Hey, I don't want to play no games." Then we hear men who are in the street or wherever they at, that say, "No, I want to run the game." But how I define it on my platform is this way: the game is just strategy. It's a way to move from A to B to C to Z. It is strategy. And what happens is there's game is amoral. That means it has it's neither bad nor good. It's what you define it as. So I think a lot of times people have defined game as negative because of the consequences that they have by someone running game on them. So they look at it negatively and not positive, not looking at it as a positive. So it's important that how I defined it, I can't speak for no one else, but how I define it is strategy, moving from A to B.
Moving from A to B.
Hmm?
All right. So, what would be a strategy in today's dating world, being a single man? What would be a good strategy to approach a woman who is basically already established? How would you approach that? How would you approach a woman who's already making a way in her life? Because a lot of times when you meet people, you meet broken people, you meet people who are on their grind, goal getting, and then you meet people who are just I don't know, just lackadaisies, like in a la la land. How would you approach that?
So the first thing I'm big on this component. There's no, even though she's like that and he's like that, the first thing I would tell for a man to do is first to get to know himself. What? To get to know himself. First, he needs to know himself. He needs to know his creator. He needs to know God. He needs to know himself. You are now good for no woman if you don't know yourself. Second of all, if you do not what? Love who you are. If you do not what? Love who you are as a man. How can you love a woman if you can't even love yourself? So what happens is what men get into trouble, and women, but we're talking about men, where men get in trouble is because they're expecting a woman to love them past the point where they even love themselves. And that's where the problem is. So the first thing I tell a man is get to know who you are. Get to know who you are. Begin to love who you are. Then when you go to a woman that says established, you need to understand female nature. It's different from what male nature is completely different. Now, if you've been, well, that's a whole nother rabbit trail about understanding female nature, but you need to understand female nature. And I think a lot of men are afraid because they don't understand the woman and they think it's hard. Women are relatively easy. I'm gonna give away some early secrets right quick. Women are relatively easy because they give you the playbook if you just listen. Women will give you the what? Playbook if you just listen. But you need to understand female nature. Once you understand female nature, what they do and what they don't do, and every woman's not the same, but there's some baselines that's common in all women. That's female nature. And so I think a lot of guys mess up because they're going by what their homeboy told them, what their dad said them, what they seen with their mom, but they don't understand the mechanics of what? Women's nature.
Well,
That's the biggest thing.
a woman's nature. Now, see, you did open up a whole nother can of worms because I wasn't ready for that. Oh my goodness. A woman's nature. Now you got to go deeper. I don't know where my co-hosts are at, but I do know this. We're gonna have this show no matter what. So tell me about a woman's nature. We're just gonna flow right here.
So I think what happens is, first of all, there's no need to understand a woman's nature until first a man begin to understand his nature as a man. He needs to understand his nature. See, we get it all mixed up. I got to learn about women. No. You need to learn about you first. You need to know how you function. You need to learn how you function as a man in your nature. Then you realize, then you can see the opposite of the woman's nature. So you appreciate it because you appreciate your nature. See, a lot of times guys are say they're talking about women's nature, but the reality of it is they have not completely understand how they function, why they think first and then emotions next. Logical thinkers first and then emotions. Why they always looking to solve a problem, while a woman is solving a problem while she's talking to you. Two complete different natures. While she's emotional and then logic. So I think a lot of people miss that point right there. The importance of understanding each other's nature, but understanding your nature as a man and then understanding a woman's nature. And we got it so mixed up because this world has got it all mixed around.
Okay. Well, I got Dr. J on the line. Hi, Dr. J.
Hey.
This is my special guest, Lawrence D. Adams. He is out of Ohio. So I'll find me some good co-hosts, And so he has his own platform. He already introduced himself. He's given us some strategy. Well, he's given us the game on strategies and a woman. What did you say? A woman's what?
So what I said when here, I said a lot of people have a misconception of what game is. So when you hear game, the first thing that comes up is something negative, or somebody's trying to manipulate you, or someone's trying to take advantage of you. But what they miss is game is neither bad nor good. It's amoral. That means it's only what you prescribe or what you perceive it to be. So when you run game, people think, oh, somebody about to get played. No. Game is just, and how I define it on my platform, is just strategy. Women use game and men use game. We may not admit it, but we all use a way to get to the place where we need to be at, or what we want in life, particularly with a particular individual, or when it comes to business, or when it comes to jobs, or whatever. We all run the game. The second point is this: if you do not play the game will play you.
Dr. J, what do you have to say? Because I need some input from you.
Listen, I was listening in and it was good. It was so good. I forgot to enter the broadcast studio. No, it was good. I love what he said about the nature of the woman. I love what he said about the masculinity of the man. Thank God that people are still out here teaching these things. And they are also very vital to relationships. And you're right. There is a level of a little bit of the game in relationships for sure, especially with women. We're so emotional sometimes that I think sometimes we don't even realize that there is an element of the game. Let me see if he's going to call me first. I'm not going to be the one to reach out, or, like we play these little tests to see if he can measure up, but then we say we're not playing the game, and we definitely do. We do.
I'm not going to even touch that, Jay, because you threw me under the bus with that one, and the reason why I'm just gonna own it. I'm gonna see if he gonna call me first. How long is it gonna take for him to call me? I wonder. It reminds me of that song by DeBarge. I wonder if he gonna call me. Is this really your phone number? Yeah, the game. Well, I don't want to delay the time with this conversation. I want to get into the questions. Did you get the questions that I sent you, Dr. J? We waiting on Greg. I don't know where Greg is. Has to be something important, so because he never misses us. So
right, I miss my brother.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. He must be delayed into something. Got to be something serious because he does not check in with us. So, I'm gonna do question number 1. We'll lift him up in prayer too, so that he be covered. Question number 1: Is it okay to ask about past relationships for research and understanding purposes? Who wants to dive into that first?
I'll start. Yes. For me personally, I don't even know that it's about research, but if I'm going to be with a person, I want to know where you stand. I want to know about those past relationships. If a person is open and honest and transparent, and we talk about that a lot on this platform, then there should be nothing to hide. So I'm leery if I ask you and you don't want to answer the question or you're being vague. In a relationship, you should be able to ask those types of questions and be willing to share, these are the mistakes that I've made. This is how I've contributed to the relationship. Even this is what I wish I had done different. So I very much think that it's perfectly okay to ask. And I think that you should. And I have in the past. And like I just stated, if a person wasn't willing to share, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if you can't be upfront, then what are you hiding? Right. I think a relationship is the wrong place to hide and not be factual and share information.
Well, Lawrence, you want to answer the question?
Well. Should you share about what relationship stuff and what past relationship?
Is it okay to ask about past relationships? What do I mean by that? I mean, like, how did it end? I think for me, let me just answer my own. Let me answer it before I even say anything, before I ask you, before I say any more details. The reason why I'm saying this is because oftentimes people are broken, right? Or a lot of times they won't own the part they played to the demise of the relationship. They'll always do the blame game, or it was their fault. They never own their stuff. And I find that when people don't own their stuff, it kind of hinders what's going to happen in this relationship, because what they did in the last relationship, they're going to do in this one, because they have not accepted any fault in the demise of the relationship. And I'm not even going to call it demise, in the separation of the relationship. Okay, that's why I'm asking.
So let me say this. First, before you even ask those questions, there needs to be a point of, where is this relationship going? So I think a lot of times we don't ask, where is this going, or even have an inkling on where it's going. So it needs to be asked. The next thing is, if you want to know those answers, this is the part I think people, I want to know everything. Can you handle the truth of what they're going to share? Can you handle what they are going to share about their past? If you cannot handle it and still love them and be with them and say, I want to go further, you need to be careful and use it wisely to ask those questions. Not saying that you shouldn't ask those questions, but you need to be wise when you ask those questions, because you may not be able to stomach it and you might turn away. Second of all, the flip side of it is, you gotta allow the person to be willing to share in their timing. Sometimes I want to know what socks you had on when you were 3 years old. Like, 3 years old? What? What do you mean? You want to know what socks I wore when I was 3 years old, and where did your mother get them at? That sounds good, but at the same thing, you got to allow the person to be able to what? You got to allow the person to be able to share at their pace. So that's where people miss it right there. You got to allow people to share their pace. Now there's the other thing. The third thing is this. When sharing, you must have a place where they feel comfortable sharing those parts with. See, a lot of times we want people to, I want you to share and tell me everything that happened. But have you created a space for that person to say, let me let my hair down? I don't have any hair, but if I had some hair, I have it on my beard, but if I had some hair, let me let my hair down and I can share with that. And a lot of times we want these questions. I need them right now. I need to know, but we haven't allowed that. We haven't created a space for that person so that they can trust us. Trust is the key word. Just share those things.
You know that we talked about this on your platform when I was on your platform. It's that Delilah thing where Delilah created an atmosphere for Solomon. Yeah, not Solomon. I'm sorry, Samson. Forgive me. For Samson to feel safe enough to tell her. Now, it was a game that they were playing back and forth with one another. That's so funny. The game. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Oh, I ain't gonna touch that one because we were talking about something else. But in that space, he got comfortable enough to lay his hair down to tell him the secrets of his heart, to tell him, you know, those innermost things where the vulnerability, that's the key. Where you were vulnerable enough to expose himself, to expose that piece of his heart, or that's the source of his strength. And so I think a lot of times we have to create an environment that's safe to allow them to, and we got some here, right, Jay, to let your hair down. I think a lot of times if we tell men things too soon, they'll take that and then they'll run with that, and then they'll try to maneuver and manipulate a situation where, you know, and I use the word manipulate only because they play it to their advantage. It's almost like a sign of weakness to them. And we're not telling you that to play on it. We're telling you that because we thought we could trust you. Yeah. All right.
But it's the
Well,
same with men. It's the same with men. It's the same with men. Men do the same thing. We're going to, what I don't know, what I can't speak for every man. A man would sometimes, what a man could do is throw out something and see how you respond to that. Will you come back when you get angry and throw it back in his face?
oh, that's good right there. That's good right there. Because you know what? A lot of times that's what happens. People will take information, hold on to it, and in a heated debate, a heated conversation, or a heated conversation, and then come back and say, yeah, but you're not going to do me like you did your last such and such. And you're like, wait, where did that come from? Like, what does that have to do with this? You're not them. You're not that person. Why would you say that to me? And then it makes the situation more complicated. And it's like, I'm shutting down now. I'm going to tell you nothing because you're going to throw it right back in my face. Well, moving on.
So yeah, that's definitely what happens. So that's why I'm saying the importance of creating a space where trust is felt on or known on both sides, so you can share those things from the past. How important it is, I think it's very important that you know what happened in the last relationship. What part did you play and what part did they play? Because two things happen. You played a part and you picked that part in the other person. Let me say that again. You played a part and you got to realize on some level, you picked that person to play the part with you. And I think a lot of times we don't want to say, no, they crazy. They did all this. No, you chose them. You invited them into your world.
Right.
That's
So
good.
why did you invite them into your world and you wanted to do a dance? I call it a dance. You did a dance, you did a tango with them. And then when they didn't want to dance anymore, you get upset.
Right. Don't want to do the dance. You know, I always say that there's three sides to every person. And this is one of the things we talked about early on in one of our first beginning shows, right, Dr. J? There's always three sides to a person. There's There's the king, there's the little boy, then there's the fool. There's the queen, there's the little girl, and then there's the fool. You have to understand you probably never really want to enter into the conversation with the fool. You want to stay in conversation with the king, the queen, or the child, or the little boy, the little girl. And the reason why I said the little boy, the little girl, because sometimes you'll notice that they'll need a nurture. This is a nurturing moment. This is a covering moment. This is a loving moment. This is a protecting moment. This is an encouraging moment because that's the vulnerable part about them. That's the part that I'm talking about where I said there's that kid part that's vulnerable because I let my guard down. And when I'm telling you this and I'm sharing this with you, I actually need you to cover this for me, but I also need you to encourage me and build me up in that. So yeah, I don't want to talk to the fool. I try not to open up Pandora's box with that. The fool, I don't want to talk to. Keep your fool right on over there in that box, and I'm gonna keep my fool right on over here in her box. All right.
So,
So
Constance, that's sorry.
go ahead.
When Lawrence was talking about creating a space, you definitely have to see where the fruit is. Um, what has this person, not that there's something to prove, but there is, have they shown you that you can trust them? Have they shown you that they can cover you or that you'll be secure? Because sometimes we just share too soon or we expect too much too soon, especially women, because again, we're led by our emotions. So we get so excited and then we want to ask these questions and we want to see a certain response. We even want them to make us feel secure, but we haven't given the relationship a chance to produce any fruit. So that's really what happened to Samson too. Yeah, it seemed like she created a safe space, but what fruit did she have? What proof did he have that she wasn't going to neglect him or turn him over? He didn't. So it's much less about what a person says and does and about what you see and about what the relationship produces. And sometimes that takes time. But I know in the past, I've gotten ahead of myself and not allowed that time to happen. And then I definitely expected a lot and I was left holding the bag. And yes, I contributed to it, but you definitely have to wait for that fruit. Don't be so quick to jump up and, be in love and meet the family and all that. Give the relationship some time to get some roots in the ground.
That's
I
that's
agree.
that's so true. Let me say something to that. Made me think of the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. When I can't think of one of the Wayne brothers took the young lady back to the hotel and she took off her arms, she took off her legs, she took off her wig, she took off like what
Right.
that's the same thing that happens in relationships. Sometimes we share too much too soon, and then when the leg come off, you're like, wait a minute, the leg come off, the arm come off, and she's hopping to get to him, and we didn't realize that we're dealing with a person that's not whole.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right. All right. He said not whole. That's that piece that I just said. You get into something with somebody, and then before you know it, you find out they're still broken. One of the greatest taglines that I've heard from supposedly strong men is that she did this to me, my last relationship, I'm still healing. And it's like, well, let me ask you something. And this is gonna go to the spiritual aspect of it. So when you pray, when do you pray? Now. When do you receive? You receive now. When do you become healed? You're healed now. The key is to walk in that healing. The key is to always remember, nope, I'm not going to accept that thought. I forgive him. Nope. I ain't doing that. Nope, nope, devil, you don't win. You're not going to torture me with my thoughts. Nope. I don't receive that. Because what happens is your there's a spiritual war going on inside of you where you have good thoughts and you have bad thoughts. You have the pain of what happened, right? That you're still wanting to hold on to, and or the regret or the anger, and you want to hold on to it. But literally, that's just holding you bondage to the relationship. When you could literally just say right now, you know what? Wash my hands of that. I'm done with it. I forgive them. I love them. Now, does it happen instantly? No, it is a process. It's not super mystical magical, but it's also not complicated. It's a daily confession of I forgive them. I release that. I forget. I love them because what? Love covers a multitude of sins. If you told them you love them the first time, why you can't continue to love them after the separation? Because love is not supposed to just be because you love me back. That's not how God loves us. And I find it the most difficult thing to watch grown women and men say that they loved you 1 minute, and the minute that things don't go their way, they act out like a child, like it's like a temper tantrum. It's like, I don't love you no more. No, I hate them. I didn't know why. No, 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 no. Because that's hindering you from growing. That's hindering you from being healed. That's hindering you from walking into something new. And I'm not saying that you need to walk into something new immediately. What I'm saying is forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. Releasing is not for them. It's for you. Because if you hold on to it, then you're just holding on to pain, regret, anger, anxiety, because you got the shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have handled this like this. What if I would have did this? I saw the red flags. I did this and I moved on anyway. Yeah, most people do move past goals too quick. You saw it, but when you know better. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I reasoned as a child. But when I became older, I put away childish things. Let me tell you something. There is no one that's going to hold me to what happened in the past. I'm sorry. We might not ever be in the same like space again, right? But I'm not going to be angry with you. I cannot. I can't afford that. I don't know why my camera is going dim. I don't know what that is about. I'll fix that later. But I'm not going to be angry with you for what you've done in the past. I'm going to release you and give you back to God. All right. I'm going to ask this question and I'm going to fix my camera, y'all. When is it time? This is question number 2. When is it time to ask about intentions for the relationship? I'm going to fix my camera, y'all.
Oh, so when is a good time and when should you ask about intentions in a relationship? Wow, wow, wow. That's a big chunk to take on. So one of the things that's very important is to know where the other person, what are their intentions. So I think the time it is when you need to ask that. Wow, my light went out. Okay, let me turn this up. The perfect time to ask that is when you know it's the right time. Everybody has different times on when they should ask, when to ask with the intention on where this is going. But once you realize that you're going in a certain direction, you just stop and say, hey, where are we going? Where are we taking this place? What's the next step? And the thing of it is, many times we ask past the stop sign. We have already driven past the stop sign and we're asking past the stop sign, where are we going? And you're already on the highway. Let me say that again. Many times we're acting at the stop sign, but we're already on the highway in traffic. So you got to know the timing to ask, because some people ask at the wrong time. You got to learn to ask at the right time. You got to get discerning on when's the right time to ask those questions. I think, where's this relationship going? You realize, you got a feeling when this relationship is going, when you know you got some feelings involved. But you got to also engage, pay attention, because I'm speaking from a male's point of view. Where is he at? Because, like you guys said earlier, a woman can be down in another country. He's still getting on the highway. Let me say that again. Women can be already down the country, already married and everything like that. And he just, what exit do I take? He's not there yet. So you got to learn how to go at the same time. So you got to move at the same time. I've seen it too many times. You got to know how to go at the same time. So when you bring it up, it's a conversation you need to have. Don't go past the stop sign and be on the highway and ask. You need to stop at the stop sign and say, hey, I just want to see what you think. What do you think we are? Where do you think we're going? Let me say this for the ladies, because y'all the ones to bring it up sometimes. Let me say this, is all in how you present it. Let me say that again. It's all in how you present this. If you like, when what you think we are, you don't got time for me. I ain't gonna deal with you. It's all in how you. If you present in a certain way, that man gonna go, Yo, I've been thinking that too. It's all in your presentation. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and the timing of what you're saying it. Because you might say it the right way, but you right in front of his mother. So you're like, mom, I don't know. So you got to think about that. And two, for the ladies again, pull your emotions back down. Think. Let me think. Oh, I like this guy. He's this and this and that. Pull your emotions back down. Let me ask this question at the right timing. Because I know sometimes y'all throw a curveball while everything is going smooth. So where are we going? And he's thrown off. I see.
Okay, Dr. J, you gonna touch that?
Yeah, what Lawrence said when he first started responding, he talked about discerning. So you have to discern and kind of see where it's at before you start asking those types of questions too, because actions speak louder than words. I think that the question is already answered in some respect before you ask it. And if you have to ask it, especially when you feel a certain way, then you kind of already know what the intent is. You're just hoping that person is going to say something different. So that discernment is key because it's going to tell you what you need to know. You're going to see his actions. You'll know his intent by the way he treats you. You'll know her intent, men, by the way that she treats you and if she responds to your needs and vice versa. So that discernment is key. And also not expecting more from that person than what you're willing to give. Reciprocation is huge. As a woman, we always want to ask what's your intent? What are you going to do with me? Are you going to marry me? Are you going to what? But what is your intent as the woman? What are you willing to do for him? Are you willing to pour into him? Are you going to help him realize his dreams? It's not all about us. And this whole, women, I am the prize movement. I'm personally not here for it because a man is a prize too. So are you willing to praise him and treat him as if he's a gift to you too? Or is this all about how quickly y'all are going to get down the aisle, So that intent thing is, sorry, I got distracted by, hey, AB. But discernment for sure is key.
Yes.
Okay. So you know what? I like what AB said. Hey, AB Bratswell.
Hey,
good to see you, brother. So he said, what's more important? When to ask about intentions or when to communicate your intentions and then take it from there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Go ahead, touch it. I know you want to, Lawrence. Go ahead.
Put the question back up there, please.
Okay.
When's the most important, when to ask about intentions or when to communicate your intention? As the man, let me say this. Let me drink a little water for what I'm about to say.
He got a cup.
Hydrate.
For the men, what happens is, let me say this, it is our obligation to steer the relationship. I don't know. I might. If it was on my show, it would have been a couple gunshots going off, but
pow pow.
I got it right here. I got it already queued up. Here we go.
Do it.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Can you just repeat that though, please?
Okay. One more time.
Yes, and the statement.
It is, let me read this again. What's more important, when to ask about the intentions or when to communicate your intention and then take it from there. As the man, it is your obligation, brother, for you to take the lead and the reins of the relationship and where it's going. If it's a relationship, if it's just a friend, if we just phone buddies, whatever it is your responsibility, brother, to take the reins. What happens is you get upset when she said, well, I don't know, I'm just going to do this. You take the reins as the man. See, the thing of it is this, now you'll make me get into what I
Please.
a man leads. Lead. He leads because then he becomes an ER to it. He becomes a leader. A woman is tired of leading, even in the relationship. So you say, this is where we're going. This is what we're going to do. This is the direction it's going to go. She has the option. She has the option to say yay or to say what?
No.
Nay. Yay or nay. She has the option to say, you know what? I don't want to go down that highway. I'm going to get off on this exit. But you ask the man. See, this is the thing. We're too many men are, and I'm not saying you, AB, I'm just saying in general, too many men, they're doing the same thing. It breaks down to even this lower denominator. What you want for dinner? What you want for dinner? I don't know. She's waiting for you to lead, brother. She's waiting for you to lead. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have steak, get your dress on, put them red bottoms on, make sure you get the hat on. Let's go. I'll see you at 7 o'clock. You lead. She can now relax in her femininity. What happens is we have people out of sync. We have women in their masculinity, even in the church, and we have men in their femininity while trying to pretend like they're in their masculinity.
Wow. Wait. Dr. J, last show with AB and Greg. What did I say? Women don't have a problem with submitting. But we do have a problem with someone taking the reins without being dominant, without being a lord, like lording over you, lordshipping it, but actually giving someone a space to feel like I can drop my guard. I don't have to lead anymore. I can actually relax because I trust him to take the reins and I'll follow. We don't have a problem with submitting to a man, a real man, a leader, who has leadership qualities, who has leadership skills, without being disrespectful, without being distasteful, but honoring who we are because we'll honor who they are. I'm done. I'm going to drop my mic.
Let me say something. I was listening to a song from the 70s by one of my favorite gospel artists. He's passed on. That's Walter Hawkins. And on that song from the 70s, I think it was around 77 or 75, whatever, it said Love Alive 1 or whatever it is. It has a song on there called Follow Me as I Follow Christ. Follow me as I follow Christ. So the problem with what we see here is he's telling you, because you missed the song so many times, he's saying, follow me as I follow Christ. That means he's leading her or leading whoever behind him, what? To follow him as he follows Christ. So what happens is we have switched it, even in the church, because I know church folks, I've been born and raised. Even in the church, we have the women saying, follow me, brother, as I follow Christ, which is out of order.
Out of order. You're out of order. We talk about that too, don't we, Dr. J? All the time. And I think AB said that last time too, out of order. And we know Greg said all the time. It's an order to the kingdom. There is an order to where God established relationship in the first place. He said he created the male and female. Yeah, go multiply, subdue, take dominion and rule. But he created Adam first, okay? Then he created woman. Why? Why did he create woman? Because it's not good for man to be alone. I'll make him a suitable helper. someone that mimics him. And then also because the order of a relationship is a man can only tell you who he is, who you are in his life by his, you said this earlier, Dr. Day, how he treats you, the fruit. So the fruit will establish how he feels about you, how his conduct is about you. And listen, his leadership. If it's good leader, you're gonna see it. You don't have no problem with following. If he wants you to relax, you're gonna relax. If he wants you to take the reins, he'll say, you said what you want for dinner? Baby, I don't know. What do you think? What were you thinking? Well, I was thinking about some fish. What do you want some fish? I mean, whatever the conversation is, it's just that nobody wants to continue to fight for something that's supposed to be a natural flow. We got to be grown about this stuff. That's just common sense. What's your fruit?
Same thing men are asking.
And sometimes the fight is because we're trying to make something happen that's just not there. You know, you're trying to push him to be something that he's not, and it doesn't make him any less than a man. Maybe he's just not the one. Maybe he's the one, but you're not the one for him. But we have to start looking at men, and excuse me, as more than just penis and pockets. It's not just about sex. It's not just about what he can provide for you and how many bills he can pay, but again, reciprocation. But when you start to look at it, you know, so he's just a provider. Yeah, God gave you dominion. He didn't give it to me. Now, that doesn't make me any less of a woman. That doesn't mean that I can't carry a household if I need to. That doesn't mean that I don't have multiple businesses and that I can contribute. That's not what it is. But the leader in a man, you've got to be the type of woman that is going to, now, help me doesn't mean help him be a man, but I can contribute. I can help you cultivate and bring forth those gifts and such, but I'm not getting ready to steer the relationship. Dominion wasn't given to me. I'm never getting on one knee. It's not going to happen because, you know, we say that we want him to be the man and we want him to take control, but then we're steering everything. We're stuck on the intent. We're picking out the rings. We're buying the house. Come move in with me. We're wifing him before he's even made us a wife. He's already hubby. You're giving him sex. You're making his meals. You're giving him everything and then wondering why he doesn't measure up and why you don't understand his intent. What's your intent? What's your motive? Why are we so desperate for a man that we've hubbied him up and he's still stuck in friend and boyfriend land?
Wow.
So as a woman, we have to take some responsibility. Are we allowing him to be the leader? And are we the woman that can speak to the leader and the king in him? And you should have texted me and told me Lawrence was going to bring it like this. Because listen, I didn't know.
But, well, you know, I thought that my brother would be here, but
I know I need his keyboard.
he don't need to here. But we got gunshots. Shots fired. Shots fired. We still got some going on here. No, the thing about what I find most interesting about entering into any kind of new relationship is that when you're building a foundation, just as you both said, you both touched it, oftentimes we as women do want to force something as opposed to letting it flow. And like Lauren said, sometimes we'll ask questions at the wrong time because you're already over there. You're already in, because you know, we over here by Yosemite, right, Jay? So you already over in Yosemite, but we basically live like in Vegas, Sacramento, right? So we already there in our mind, in our mental, we've already landed the plane where we want to go. But at the end of the day, if a man is a man, he will want to lead. And if you're not allowing him to lead, he's going to gracefully start backing up. He's going to gracefully start letting you have it. And then eventually he's going to just back all the way up because you're not a wife. You're dominating. That's not a wife. That's Jezebel. But I ain't going to touch that. That's a whole nother script for a whole nother day.
And if I just may, on the flip side of that, like you just said about dominating, if he has shown you that he is not the leader that maybe you need him to be or he should be, if he's showing you that he's not the man, the stand-up man that you need him to be, if his intent is not there and it's not going in the right direction, It's like, what's his name? Kenny Rogers. I used to love to play poker. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Stop holding on to stuff that's expired. Nothing is good past the expiration date. The quality is just never going to be the same.
Sis, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and then the last part, know when to run.
You got that right, because I've had to run. I'm not even
Know
going
when
to lie.
to run. Because listen,
Right.
some people make you just put your running shoes on. Baby, I can't have nothing to do with that. I have, especially when you've invested time, you've invested enough to where you know, like, okay, I see these red flags, plain as day. I'm going to let this one go because, listen. And then my brother Jared, hey, Jared, thank you for joining us. He said, okay, I put my glasses back on. I keep getting this glare. I'm trying to not have a glare, but I can't help it. I can't see. He says, you have to allow a leader to lead. He can be an awesome leader, but if you don't allow him room and space to do so, he will be an awesome leader on the sideline. I agree. I agree, Jared.
Mhm.
I agree because
That's
at the end of the
good, Jared.
day,
Well, I put that back up.
okay.
Just break this sentence down. I love sentences. I hated it when I was in high school. You have to allow a leader to lead. Wrong.
Ooh.
He can be an awesome leader. Facts. But you don't allow him. Wrong. Room or space to do so. Wrong. He will be an awesome leader on the sideline. Wrong. Let me reason why I'm saying this. Let me drink some more water of what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I'm interested. I thought that was good.
No, that's not. This is. Woo, man! I gotta think of say what I'm about to say. It's gonna be tough, but it's like they used to tell me, well, it's tight, but it's right. She doesn't. I'm gonna say this. You don't allow anyone to let you know whether you lead or not. You lead because you are a leader, regardless of her or not. Let me say that again. You don't need her to give you the permission or allow you to lead. You lead or she moves on. Let me say this. Let me give you an example. Let me go to the next one. He can be an awesome leader, facts. But if you don't allow him, no, it ain't about if she allows me or not. I am that already. I create this space already. Let me give the example of what I mean. I took a class so good thing he said, and it's not personal. I don't want you to get there. It's not personal, but I got to correct that. When I took dance class and I was learning this new dance called Kanzumba, what the instructor said is, and I was learning to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3. So they got the partner together. She said, if she does not move when you move, walk through her. I said,
Oh,
walk through her. If you step on her toes, it's her fault because you are leading the dance. It's not about allowing. It is you are leading the what? The dance.
Wow.
So see, that's what we got to. Is she allow me? No. I am that already. So in that dance, the instructor, who was a female, said, if she does not follow your lead, walk through her, step on her toes, she will learn next time to what? Follow your lead.
ooh.
So it ain't about allowing, it's just who I am. See, we gotta let's get this together. So what happened is now she can flow in her masculine and her femininity and follow your lead. It ain't about allowing, because if she doesn't allow it, I'm gonna still do my move and her foot's gonna get stepped on.
That was a
a lot. That was a lot, wasn't it? Jay, wait, what?
you
Minute
know,
ago?
once he unpacked it though, he's right. And as a woman, you could call me, and you're the same, Dr. Cooper. You can call us an alpha female or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But a real woman, in my opinion, is looking for the leader in a man.
Mm-hmm. You're right. She is.
And
Yeah,
waiting,
absolutely.
willing to lay down the cape and step aside and follow. But some of these men aren't stepping up to lead.
Why did you give up?
The reason why they're not stepping the lead is because let me unpack that what you just said, because it's very important. It's not that they don't know how to do it. They have not seen great examples. and they are making, this is saved. Let me just sanctify it over here. They are not making the effort to do it.
Right.
There is no excuse why no man should step up. I'm not giving you none. You can watch the internet, you can watch my show, you can read a book, you can do this. What happens is we're afraid, like I taught this whole week, you still got the mama's boy mentality. And so you're afraid to rock the boat with mama, which is your woman, your girlfriend, your wife. So you don't want to mess up because it might mess up when you're undefiled bed and you may not participate. But a man, regardless of what happens in the bedroom or not, this is the way we're going, babe. Either you with it, and this is not to say we don't take wise counseling from the woman. But at the end of the day, baby, your foot gonna get stepped on and your slip is showing.
Well, now, we weren't expecting that. I need some water myself.
Because one more thing, we got a lot of men who have not. We hear this whole thing: men need to step up, men need to step up. We need women to step down.
Oh,
let me say that again. We talking about we need men to step up. They need to step up and be men. They need to be this. They need to be that. We need women to step down because you're too far in your masculinity. Church, inside church, by the church, outside the church, by the deacon board, whatever you, evangelist, prophetess, whoever you are, you're too far in your masculinity. So what man wants to deal with the woman who's in her masculinity and he's in his? There's no attraction there because now you are not something to enjoy. You are something to compete with.
Well, that was, wait a minute.
Oh,
we need you to fire your shot real quick. Fire those shots because that right there, that one right there. Listen, that was a whole lot right there. I enjoy being all things girly, all things feminine, all things makeup, all things hair and nails. And the key is what you said, the mama issues. I pride myself on raising some strong sons, right? Strong Black men. But one of the things that I will say is this. When a man is in his full masculinity, it is the most attractive thing to a woman to know that she's safe. It's about safety. Because when we're strong, it's like, I can't afford to let my guard down or let you take the reins, because if I do this and you mess this up, I don't want to be, I've been right every time. In other words, right? The track record is whenever time I've let this happen before, I let my guard down. I try not to be so strong in that. But when I allowed this to happen, it just blew up in my face. I think when we get to a place of trust in a relationship, it goes back to what Jay said. It's going to be fruit. And a woman and a man's fruit typically comes out in just in time. My friend Carl says, let time tell time. Time always tells you what somebody is about. We got some good comments up here. Let me see. Let me read these comments. We actually got a lot of comments today. Let's see. Pastor Lita says she could say so much, but she's gonna hush. We want to hear what you have to say, Pastor Lita. By the way, she has a wonderful show on the Word Network where she platforms other pastors. So that's my shout out to you, Pastor Lita, Daniel Reeves. And then Kevin says, I agree. Some women have let Beyonce mess them all the way up while she's at home with her husband, and got some of y'all out here talking about independent woman.
But can't pay your cell phone bill. Okay, independent woman.
Okay, that's our brother. That's our brother. Okay, context, my friend. Even God, being the leader of all leaders, cannot lead successfully if you will not allow the Lord to be God in your life. He is a gentleman. He will give you the option to allow him to take the lead or choose not. Leaders don't force, they guide. It's not about being dominant. It's about being a representation of how Christ leads. It's a choice to allow God or man to lead. A leader is sensitive and wise. I don't stop being a leader because you don't follow. I guess he's saying he just leads. Okay, let me touch that right there. God is not forceful, but there are always some consequences if you do not follow his lead. God is a gentleman, which is why he said, choose this day whom you will serve. No one can serve two masters. You either hate one or love the other. So, yes, he gives you a choice, but he also makes it plain. If you follow me this way, there's some blessings. There's some blessings in following me because you're letting me lead. And I do give you the choice. Yes, I do. But then also uh choose this day. Choose this day. Whom you gonna serve? No one can serve two masters. We can't have two masters in the house. Because we're talking about a man and a woman here. So we can't have two masters in the house. Because then that's gonna be a clash. It's like a double-headed mount. It's an abomination. It's a double-headed monster. So I'm not trying to be a man and be masculine in a relationship with a leader. If he's not a leader, then he's not gonna lead me anyway. Because come on now, I already saw your fruit. You punked out the first time you got some irritation. First time you thought that I was gonna not agree with you, you basically bowed out gracefully, and you were too feminine for me. So most women who are strong, they don't need no feminine man. They don't. They don't want you bowing out, talking about if you don't know. I need to know that you have the capacity to handle me. Am I gonna give you a problem on purpose? Absolutely not. But there are consequences to if I follow you and we follow and we're following and you lead me right, there's gonna be a blessing in that. Because how can two walk together unless they agree? Gotta walk together in agreement. No one can serve two masters. There's only one God. One God. It's a triune God, yes. Those of us that are in Christ knows that we believe in the Trinity. We believe in the Trinity, the triuneness of God. But no one can serve two masters. Can't have two masters. There was only one slave master. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna touch this. There was only one slave master on the plantation. There was only one owner. Can't serve two masters. Can't have two masters of your heart. There's only one. You can't serve God and the devil. You can't be hot or cold. You gotta be one. And so oneness comes from one leader. Now, I get the context of what you're saying, and I get the context of what Lawrence is saying. But I also know that no strong woman is going to be able to follow a man if he does not have the capacity to lead her, period. She will not submit. She's always going to buck because she sees that you're weak. And if you're weak, she's going to be like, I'm going to leave you over there in your little boy corner. And she got sons. If she anything like me, she like, I'm not raising another boy. I'm not raising him. I'm not going to do it. I've already potty trained him. I've already changed his diapers. I taught him how to walk, taught him how to ride a bike. I taught him how to cook. I taught him how to do laundry. I've done all that already. No one can serve two masters. It's got to be one. And so when you get to the point where you're in that part of the relationship and you want to allow him to lead, he better lead, and he better lead well. Because if not, I can lead my own house. I've been doing it, right, Jay? I've been leading my own house. I'm not saying that we don't at some point have to submit completely. But we don't want to be dominated either. But we don't want no weak man. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
I think we look at dominating as a bad word again. We're thinking that we look at the word dominate and say, well, that's a bad word. That someone's going to get the bad end of the stick, and it's not the case. Once again, words are what we prescribe to them. So I understand what you were saying in the context of which you were using it, and the context of which you was using it right now. That's why I broke the sentence down. The only key word I was getting at, so we're on the same page, is allow. No one, the thing of it is when you allow, that means you're giving the other person permission to do what you need to do. There's no allowing. I am a man outside, inside, upside. When I'm asleep, I am that man. What happens is she come along like in the Garden of Eden, and he says, what? Woman, you're a bone of my bone and what? Flesh of my flesh. So I think that's where we think of that. So I understand exactly what you're saying. So that this is not a attack on you, brother. This is nothing all but love. All I am saying is now for us as men to step up and be men. Because if you deal with these two over here from this gather from this conversation, She gonna allow you. She gonna allow you to allow, but only but so much before she get the keys, and she be driving down the highway, going where she needed to go because you allowed her. Women like these two, from what I gathered, need to have set demarcations. Let me say the other word for it: boundaries. And if you don't set it up front, she will jump over the fence and be looking at you and say, what you gonna do about it? And it's not intentional. It is only to see what you will do as a man. So that's all. That's what I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, you're right, Lawrence.
Y'all ain't saying nothing over there. Y'all quiet.
It's quiet, church. No, you're right. And you know what? A woman like me, and I think I might speak for Dr. Cooper, but she can speak for herself too, because we are leaders and we run our homes. We're looking for a man to be a leader so we can step aside. But leadership sometimes comes natural too. So when he's not stepping up, we naturally, like you said, we take the keys and just jump on the highway. But I'm the type of woman that I'm not even looking for the type of man that I have to question his leadership. I need you to take control and give me an opportunity to submit, and I will be the absolute best to you. So don't even step to me if you're not ready to lead. But like you had said maybe a few comments ago about the mama's boys. Sometimes it's the issue with the women too, and the daddy's girls. And we have daddy issues and we have male issues. And so if we've not seen a man step up in the capacity that he needs to, then we become the type of women who lead to the best of our ability. And like I said earlier, we can totally run a home because we've not seen a man step up in the capacity that he needs to. So, you know, we have to deal with these, the mama's boys and the daddy's girls and the daddyless and the fatherless, because then you end up substituting. And when you do finally meet somebody, sometimes that unhealed little girl is still looking for daddy too. She's not looking for a husband. She's looking for somebody that's going to be everything that she never had.
Well,
I like that. Daddy issues. You know, for a long time, women who have those type of issues, whether he was active and present, loving and nurturing, dominating and abusive, that's what they pretty much gravitate to. You agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Oh, this is good today.
Isn't it good today?
Yes.
You know, I really believe I'm trying to do three things at one time. Okay, this is a precursor into the next question. You guys know that? Oh, we're doing good too. I don't want to keep you too long though. I want to get to these last three questions. Okay, do men actually know if they want to stick with the woman, or let me word it like this: stay the course with a commitment, or are men scared of commitment? Depending on the woman, I'm going to assume.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Well. I need my preaching music for this one. Woo. Let me tune up a little bit. Let me say this. Men are not afraid of commitment as much as women think they are. Men are committed to everything else. They can commit to a football game. They can commit to making sure they on Sunday. Church gonna be over at certain time. We can go watch the game because they got a commitment to watch the game after church or before church or during church. They have commitments. Commitment is not the problem. When it comes down to it, has the man been committed to himself? It has nothing to do with the woman. See, that's the issue that men get. It has nothing to do with the woman. It has everything to do with you. So let me get to the other part of your question. So the commitment starts with you as the man. The second thing I want to get, I'm gonna get the other part of your question because it's really good. Do men know early on do men know early, then they let on? Yes, sometimes men know But what we have to do, which I teach men to do on my channel, I can't speak for every other man, but I teach men to vet, challenge the woman. Let me say that again. I teach men to first, okay, how you doing? How you doing? But he needs to vet. He needs to see, okay, what she's about. You need to vet the woman. You need to challenge a woman because a lot of women are unchallenged.
Mm.
So you need to vet a woman. You need to see. You need to do almost like, I don't want to say take her to the whole gamut of like they do with the Supreme Court justice, but you need to vet who you dealing with, because many times men, we make emotional choices because she looked good on the outside, got all the curves in the right spots, and missing who she really is. Can she cook? Can she clean? How she treat her kids if she has kids? What does she do? How does she clean her bathroom? We are not vetting. We vetting from our lower nature and not from our higher nature. So we're vetting from the wrong space. So men, you need to be serious first. First, before you can even vet a woman, you got to know what you want.
Uh-oh.
You got to know, this is what I'm looking for this. So what you do in order for you to vet, in order for them to vet the Supreme Court justice, they were looking for certain qualifications. Once they asked those questions and the individual went through them, guess what happened? They went to the next steps and they confirmed the person as the Supreme Court justice. And then they started their tender, they go on to serve a lifetime. But what happens is we just say, oh, you pretty. She looked nice. She sure got curves. All that is good. But if you don't, men need to vet. That's what I'm saying. And you need to challenge the woman. You need to see what she's going to do if you say something. Because you may not see, you seen her smiling all the time, but you never seen her angry. You never seen her when she was upset. You never seen her when she wanted to say, you know what, forget all this. You have to vet and challenge a woman. And then men, you know, I was reading a story today on on Judah. His wife had died. He got a little situation going on with his sons. Can't get a child. So what did he do? He went when his wife died. He went with his homeboy, and they went back. They went to shearing sheep. He was looking for his next wife and got caught up with Tamar. He was looking for his next wife and got caught up with Tamar. What does this all mean? He was in the process. He already had the intention to find a wife and got caught up. So sometimes you got to be careful, brothers. I'm speaking to you first. Your intentions, and you need to, he did not thoroughly see who he was sleeping with and birthed a child with Tamar, who was his what? Daughter-in-law.
But wait a minute, hold on. That story in and of itself is a whole nother can of worms. Listen, first of all, he was already out of order. Since you want to touch the scripture, all his sons were out of order.
His sons was out of order.
So when the first son died, see, you don't switch lanes. So when the first son died, her husband died. The other son was supposed to wed her and supposed to produce a seed, because it's always order, and they always had an order. So then, because they didn't want to produce a seed with her because the other brother died, and then another brother came along, and they kept going inside this woman. But the last one was that spill a seed on the ground, which is an abomination to God as well. Since you want to touch that scripture, I didn't know he was going scripture. But then he turns around and they don't want to have no children with her. So then the father, Judah, want to send her in exile and tell her, well, hey, they tried. I'm just paraphrasing, but we know the scripture. Well, they tried. Well, so just going to sit yourself over in that corner. But she was determined. See, let's go to another strong woman. I didn't want you to touch this. You know, you get my preach excited, and my excited get excited when you touch scripture. Okay, so listen. So then he goes and he says, why did you open this up? Oh, Lawrence, why did you do this to me? You made me want to preach, and I didn't want to preach on the dialogue. But listen. So because they were out of order, all of them, and even the father, he put her in the corner and told her, You just go on and sit over there. You'll be okay. We'll take care of you, but you won't have a child. No. This is a strong woman determined to get what she wants, how she gonna get it.
She was strong how?
She was strong because she was determined.
She was strong how?
She was strong because she made up in her mind her strategy, how she was gonna get this baby.
She was strong how?
You tell me how she was strong, Lawrence.
Right. She was strong, like you said, in her strategy in her game to get a son, because the youngest son was too young to have a child. So she was strong. She was strong in her femininity because she figured out a way, with the help of the people in the county or the little place, to get what she wanted.
But here goes the proclivities of a man's flesh.
No,
But
I'll let you go with that one.
I gotta touch it.
She's scratching like
I gotta touch it because
Dude,
Judah,
I ain't gonna go with that.
with his family, tell me, he said something's going on inside of him. Can I say it how I want to say it? Judah wanted some tail. Judah wanted a piece of tail. It was she dressed herself as a prostitute on the side of the road because her strategy was, I'm gonna get me a baby, and I'm gonna get me a baby in this bloodline. And because y'all keep playing games, because I'm strong enough and I'm wise enough to know how to get it when I want to get it, how I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna figure this out. And she figured out a plan. And except then, so listen, Judah was led by his phallus so much that what he did was he didn't have no money. But he just saw something like, look at this foolishness. I'm sorry, because you thought y'all think foolishness is something new. It's been foolishness. This man didn't have no money, but she said, well, what you got? Ah! I got my ring, I got my staff, and I got my ring. And so
at what cost?
Listen. So she was slept with the man. She got what she wanted. She got the seed. It's still in the bloodline. How long? I'm gonna run up out of here. Now we preaching. We on a whole nother subject. Wait a minute. So I got the seed, I got the bloodline, and I'm gonna have me a child. Okay. So Judah comes back because he said this was what I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back what you want, what you need. You can bring you back a sheep. But she didn't want that sheep. She wanted the seed. Hello, somebody. A woman know how to get what she want, when she want it, how she want it. Oh God, let me not go there. But anyway. So I'm not gonna do it, Jay. Listen, but I gotta wind up because the story goes.
I just have to say this. As women, we have to value ourselves more than our vagina.
Exactly. But it wasn't about
that's manipulation. So she wasn't necessarily strong. It was deception wearing a disguise of strength. You gotta be more than your vagina, and being a part of a bloodline or whatever. I mean, at what cost? To me, she was as strong as Delilah was. There was so much deception and manipulation there.
Right.
And that's not strength, but you have women all day preaching about how strong they are, but sis, you're passing it out.
But that's where I'm going. You guys let me unpack it. Let me unpack it.
Unpack it.
Let me unpack it. Because I'm on the same page. Because the deception was on both of their parts. They were both deceitful. They were both deceitful. She dressed up as a prostitute. He was led by his members. They were both deceitful. He brought the sheep back to get his staff. She was gone with the seed. Then he wanted to kill her. Why? Because he was weak and she was wrong, but they were both wrong in the sight of God because they were both manipulating one another. Manipulation, you reap what you sow. You're going to get out the same energy that you put back out. So in other words, because my preach was coming, you didn't let me finish my preach. What ended up happening was, because of the deception on both of their parts, they were out of order, both of them. What ends up happening is, yes, she got the child at the cost of being manipulative in a Jezebelic spirit. And listen, he couldn't do nothing about it because now she gets to save her life, right? Because at first they was going to stone her because she was about having sex, right? She was having sex, and she supposed to have been a harlot and whatnot, right? But he had to admit, I was wrong myself. Because I slept with her. So I say that to say, we cannot come into things playing games because that was a game, as Lauren said. That was a game. They were both playing games. There was manipulative on both of their parts. Because at the end of the day, What does it profit a man to gain the world, but in the end lose your soul? I feel like the manipulation on both parts, the game on both parts, cost them their integrity, cost them, it cost them, basically it just cost them their character. That was not in the character and in the order of God. But it got done, right? It got done. She got it done. He got it done. He satisfied his flesh. She got her seed. They got it done. The game. They both played the game. Well,
Thanks a lot,
I'm done.
Lawrence. Thanks a lot.
Right? Thanks a lot, Lawrence, right?
And he just sat back. Oh gosh.
The game.
But that would be, and if we look in the Bible, they both played the game, and guess what? There was a child got out of birthed out of it, and also we see that we see the importance of integrity, like you said. I think a lot of people they miss that part of it on both sides, because she played the game to get a child. Because how did she know that he was going to be up there shearing sheep? Somebody had to tell her.
Uh-oh.
Who told her?
Uh-oh.
Somebody had to tell her. So she had some people working with her to get what she wants. So let's take it at the negative out of it. Sometimes you got to get, I know we didn't mean to go this direction. You got to get people to work what you want to want to happen. And so that you can get to your Judah, which is praise. But that's another lesson. Let's go side note.
Well, you know what? The funny thing about it is, listen, that goes into the precursor of the next question. You guys got your questions in front of you? Does music put men or women in a certain mood for a certain moment, or for a certain mindset, rather? So let me ask it again. Does music put a man or a woman in a certain mood or a certain mindset?
Yes, it does. Music plays a part in everything. We just talked about Judah, which is praise. So,
exactly.
So what's so important is we don't realize how important music is in getting us in a state of love, hate, fight. Like if I hear a certain rap song, it's about to be fight time. If I hear another rap song that's back from the 80s, I'm thinking about the fun time I had as a teenager. So it's all about what does that music trigger in you? It triggers something in you. And I think a lot of times we don't realize the depth of what music can do. It takes us out of one state into another. So we might be depressed one day, and the music, we can hear something, wow, that took me out of that state. Or we hear another song where we want to feel love. We play this song, and it put us in a state of love. So music plays a part. That's why you listen to praise and worship, to get you in a state of being what? At one mint with God, atonement, at one mint with God. Because the music centers you and gets you right there. But I'm just talking.
The music centers you and gets you right there. What say you, Dr. J?
No, it's the same. I think that sometimes we don't give music its true credit. There's a spirit behind everything that we do, and the type of music that we choose to listen to can make you feel a certain kind of way. Like Lawrence just said, you know, if you're listening to R&B and love making music, you don't want to jump on something. It just is what it is, and it don't matter how saved you are and how much you heek them aside. If you're listening to it, you're gonna send a text message. How you doing? What you doing? See you at 10. So don't listen to it. But music definitely feeds our emotions. And like Lauren said, it can also cause us to switch emotionally depending. So in essence, it's just like food. We are what we eat. Whatever we feed ourselves with naturally and spiritually, that is exactly what is going to manifest.
Music play a big part. I think a lot of people don't understand the power of music.
Mm-hmm.
Music is powerful. You hear Michael Jackson right now, you're going to automatically, you hear Thriller, you're going to be like, wait a minute. You start getting to the dance automatically. Why? Because of the music. I don't
Right,
care if you
right,
say sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, tongue talking backwards and forwards. You that Michael
right.
Jackson, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm moonwalking. Why? Because he takes you
Right.
into a state of wanting to do what you need to
The
do.
one shoulder.
Yeah, you want to get one shoulder. So we got to think the power of music.
Right.
There is a certain, I like what you said, Dr. Day. There is a certain spirit um, that does come behind music. I'll put it to you like this. When you hear, and I'm sorry, you can be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost all you want to, but if you hear Beyonce, like that, who that Kevin said earlier, but if you hear Beyonce come on, let me cater to you, because baby, this is your day. You be like, hey, like I'm gonna text him. I'm supposed to text him. Do he want some dinner? I'm supposed to text him. Or let's go old school. I'm an old school guy. So what about um the whispers? If you just say yes, Lord have mercy. If you just say yes, well, wait a minute. Atlantic Star, send for me.
Sin for
Send for
me.
me. Send for me. Uh, I might put that on out there. Luther.
Okay.
Anyone who had a heart.
I'm back.
Elder Mark say, anyone who had a heart. No, wait a minute. And a house is not a home. There's no one there. Want to turn the key? Oh my God! Wait a minute. Let not even go there. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Oh my God. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Promise me you'll leave me never. That will be in love forever. Oh, promise me. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so anyway. hmm So, all right. That was number 4. And I'm gonna do number 5, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys. And I'm gonna close us out with a good old song. Uh how important is their relationship with their family to you? In other words, how how they interact with their family. How important is that to you? Like, do their family excuse their bad behavior if you know that they're like mentally or emotionally or even physically abusive, or if they're verbally abusive, or are they giving? Do their family take advantage of their heart? How catering are they to their mothers, to their fathers, or to their sisters, cousins? How important is their relationships with their family to you? How does that depart?
So how does that play a part?
For
To
me,
me,
it's very
because I love
important. Oh,
family,
go ahead.
so it's, this answer is different for every individual because of who they are and their family dynamics, whether they had a good family or bad family. But for me, family is important because I'm going to be watching how you deal with who you say is your family. Because how you deal with those that are that personal with you and know you since Cat was a kidding is going to be an indication how you potentially will deal with me if I become your family. Let me say that again. I'm going to watch how you deal with your what family, because if we potentially go to that next level, you're going to treat me the same way.
Mm,
Because now
mhm.
you're see, they know you. I don't know you. But how they treat you and how you treat me, I'm like, that I may be that person in 10 years.
That part.
I ain't going
Elder,
for all that.
right.
So that's why it's so important to pay attention to how they deal with their family. Do they, like you asked, do their family take advantage of them? Because that's going to be something, say it was a scenario where the family takes advantage of, say, the woman. He now has to deal with correcting whatever's going on with her family because they keep taking advantage of his woman, his wife. Vice versa, it goes the same way. If his mother is constantly over at the house, I can
Oh,
cook and clean just like she can. Guess what? She's now had to deal with the mother-in-law. So you
right.
got to pay attention on how they deal with the family, because if you go any further with them, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be part of the family, and you're going to be dealing with those very same issues.
I agree. Go ahead, Dr. J.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's important as well, because the way that a person relates to their family in my opinion, says a lot about their values and their morals. So I look at family relationships because, as Lauren said, it does give you some insight into how this person may treat you in the future. I also look at those relationships because for me, family is very important to me. And if I move forward with this person, I'm also trying to find out where I may fit in that equation, like with the family. Can I relate? You know, can me and mom get along? Can we hang out? Can we cook together? You know, is your family showing me respect? Am I showing them respect? And what is the boundary? What are the expectations? You know, how are you allowing your family to treat me? Because what happens in the beginning is just going to get worse later. So all of those things are very important. And so I am leery if I don't meet your family, even your friends, because some of us have friends that are close like family, then I don't know where I fit in your life. Because especially if you have close family relationships, then I need to know where I fit into that. Because other times you have people who, when you don't check that family relationship front and then you move forward, some years down the line, you're upset because you don't fit in or they don't like you, or you know, it creates some issues. And relationships and marriages in themselves, there's already going to be some stuff. So why add to it? So these are things that once the intent has been set and we have stopped at the stop sign, as Lauren said, we've asked the questions we need to ask before we get on the highway. These are all things that need to be talked about and set in order, if you will. So we're not just driving down the highway and then I find out 10 years later, you know, your mother can't stand me and she's mad because my sweet potato pie is better. Those are things that you have to consider.
Did she go there? Did she say my sweet potato pie is better? Now you know
Listen,
that.
my ex-husband, his mother did not like me. She felt like I took her baby. And I was cooking for him and everything. And she was like, that's my place. That's my business. We didn't get along till we got divorced. Then it was like, daughter. And I'm like, where you been? But you know what? We got along afterward because I was no longer in her way. So that taught me that moving forward in relationships, that was something I needed to know, not up front, but you get what I'm saying. Where do I fit in? And what's that dynamic? And how can we relate? Because I don't want to find out after I'm married and pregnant that you can't stand me. Because I don't want to get between a man and his family and makes him choose. That's a very uncomfortable place. And to me, nobody should be doing that. But that's what happens when you don't get ahead of stuff like this. When you don't address it when it needs to be addressed, there's some issues that are going to come later down the road, and you may or may not know how to deal with it.
Let me say something to what you just said with your scenario.
Yeah, that's true. He said, I married my wife, not them. That's true.
Let me say something can you hear me?
Yeah.
So let me say something to what you said about the dynamic. What happened was he knew that his mother did not like you. On some way he had to know because it was communicated. That was his point of contact to say, hey,
absolutely,
she's with me, whether you like it or not, or you will not see me. It was never nipped in the bud. And that's a hard pill. Once they understand, like, this is my boo, and boo ain't going nowhere. And if you don't want to, if you can't stand boo, you will not see me. Once it's established and the mother understands that, she can back up and get into her place and say, well, you know, I guess I got to eat that sweet potato pie. And yes, you do. Or not, you will not be at this table.
Ooh. You know,
but what happens is it lets the woman know that this man has my back.
Yes, you value me. Yes.
Right. You respect me. You honor me. You're honoring the vows that we took together. A man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. And if you don't do that, you leave to cleave. One of the things that I've learned about being that mother in my son's life, where I know I can cook and all those things, and they're always like, Mom, I love you. No, listen, hold on. We're not gonna do that. What we will do is if they want to be my friend, I'll show them some things. I can help them along the way. But I tell a woman in a minute, you're not laying down with me, honey. You laying down with them. So don't do anything to impress me. You make sure you love my son right and respect my son. Other than that, I have nothing to do with the relationship. As long as you don't put your hands on him, we good. As long as he ain't putting his hands on you, we good. Because if he put his hands on you, you best believe I'm gonna say something about it. Because I know I didn't raise him like that, and vice versa. So I find myself in the position where I pay attention to how a man treats his family. Yes, I do. But I also pay attention to exactly what you said too, Lawrence. If he respects me enough to defend me, like if he knows me, he spends time with me. He's the one who knows my heart. He's the one who knows my intentions. He's the one who knows my vulnerabilities. He's the one who knows my insecurities. He's the one who knows everything about me. He knows my strengths. He knows everything. So if he doesn't have enough wherewithal or fortitude to stand up to his family and say, listen, that's my woman, and you're going to respect her as such, then we're not going to be able to, we ain't going to roll. Because then that goes back to the strong woman piece. I could be, single with this. I didn't get into this for you not to defend me, because I'm sure not going to let my family disrespect you. So, well, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for today. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. We have to have you back again, Lawrence. Oh my goodness. With the gunshots and oh my goodness. We usually have a keyboard, we got piano. So if this platform has blessed you today, any seed you sow, we appreciate it. We thank you for it. Cash App's at the bottom. Constance Cooper. Cash App is the Cash App. That was Dr. J. We missed Pastor Greg. We don't know where he is today. We're praying that he is all right. We pray the Lord covers him, because it's not like him not to tap in and say anything. So we're praying that he's okay. And then there is my friend all the way from Ohio, Mr. Lawrence D. Adams. Mr. Lawrence, tell us where we can find you at, please.
You can find me on Instagram, Lawrence D. Adams. You can find me on YouTube, Lawrence D. Adams. Not the I added extra D, is one D, Lawrence ADAMS. On Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. You can find me in all those three places. YouTube, I run, I have a show every day, 12 Eastern time, from 12:30 to 1:30, and I gear it towards men, but women come along and they get some of the dose too. So it's good. It is for men. It's to get them into the place where they can be better men and have a better relationship with women. So that's where you can find me.
Well, Dr. J, Dead in the Pews, author, life coach, minister, pastor, all of the good things. We know where to find you. You my sis. No, she said no, pastor. No, I know. I'm just messing with you. I really enjoyed this show. I am so glad. Thank you for everybody that joined in today. And for Elder, what was his name? Elder Mark Henry. I thought I'd close it out with your guy, Luther. So a Cash App seed if it's blessed you in any type of way. We look forward to the dialogue next month, April. We'll shoot that date out there. Hey, listen, let me turn it down just for a second. So I have the Fragrance of a Woman coming up March 13th, next Saturday. Oh God, can't wait for that. And then I have coming up April 16th, all the way in Oakland, California, my birthday celebration. Please, if you have not seen the flyer, I'm going to do the Eventbrite. It should be up tonight because we're doing social distancing, so we need a head count. But I wanted to invite you guys to my birthday celebration in Oakland, California. The flyer's out there. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time in the Lord. Dr. J's gonna be there. Yeah, so we'll see you then. And Mr. Lawrence, don't you have a birthday coming up pretty soon too?
That's right. March 18th, turning the big 49.
I'll be 49 myself. Look at God. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for joining the dialogue. How she feels, how he feels. It's the conversation, and we're going to get into it. Happy Saturday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. That's Luther. Y'all know that? Let me let y'all hear this little last part. Let me let you hear this little part. This little part. That was for you, Elder Moore. Thank you for joining in. Have a good Saturday, guys. Bye.